What is going on, guys? This is Travis over at Boundary, and today we're going to get up close and personal with this Coyote pump. We're going to measure all the clearances. I'm going to show you guys how to do it properly, and let's dive right in. Alright guys, for our inspection today, we're going to be showing the proper way to measure tooth to tooth. So I see a lot of guys going out there and they're jamming the shims in. So they'll take like a 5 and then they'll push them and they'll say, oh, it's gripping, or oh, it passes, or something like that. When the real way to measure these clearances is that you actually put the shim inside of, you kick it off to the side where it's got a little bit more clearance, and then you put the shim between the teeth and then you rotate it, okay? And when you rotate it, when you run out of room between those teeth, it'll tell you, okay? So we're on a 2.5. All right, now we're up to a 3. Getting pretty tight. And let's go on to a 4. And so you can see that the 4 is actually grabbing. And so that's kind of the second test, is that you're looking for the tightest clearance that grabs. And you can see that it grabs. Now on the second side of this, and something that's even more important than tooth to tooth, is that you set across using a precision straight edge. You can't use like a ruler. You have to actually get a precision straight edge. And you can do a rough check using shims what this side clearance is. So the clearances in the pump kind of work like this. The side clearance is what gives you overall pump performance. So when you're talking about high RPM work, mid-range work, that's where the pump's going to be able to produce pressure and flow like you want it. When you're talking tip-to-tip clearance, that's where a lot of low RPM and pump up. And what I mean by pump up is that whenever you first turn the car on, the car is pretty much trying to pull oil through the pump until that fluid comes all the way up the pickup tube and starts to fill these lobes in the gear. Once it fills the lobes in the gear, the situation inside the pump changes a lot, because you go from having to suck air, which is pretty low viscosity, to sucking oil, which is like, 10,000 times as viscous as air. And so the oil really seals it up well, and then the pump will pump fine. And so when you're looking at these side clearances, you put your precision straight edge on it, and then you see what shim will go underneath, okay? So we've got a tooth thou there, and it fits on the inner, it doesn't fit on the outer. And here's a 2.5, it doesn't fit on either one. And so we would say, as a rough check, we do it in a more precise way, but as a rough check, this gear set's running 2.5 on a side clearance. We're running less than 4 on the tooth to tooth. Another thing to note is whenever we measure our tooth to tooth, we measure up to the first shim that bites, and then it's the one before that, right? And if you wanted to be really, really precise about it, you needed to measure like every single tooth and go in and look at, average them all out and all that. But in general, for just a guy assembling these or a shop putting them together, if you do these 2 checks, pretty much the gear is going to work. All right, thanks.